Okay, let's begin by arriving. What I love about beginning by arriving is it's already done. So just to start off, we're successful. We're already here. And all we're doing now is noticing. So just allow yourself to effortlessly be here. And as best you can, allow yourself to notice that this is where you are, here, now. And it can be like a parting of the clouds, like the clouds of the mind that obscure that knowing can begin to part. And we can see the truth. So again, just easily, gently allow yourself to notice. Notice your presence. Notice this moment. Now into this open, bright, spacious sky. Our inquiry can be likened to welcoming the clouds of the mind to come in and to notice them as best we can, to take a step back and look rather than going into the obscuring effect of a cloud and not being able to see the cloud for what it is. We do our best to remain in that noticing position and welcome the mind. Observe the mind, observe the effects of the mind. As best you can, staying in this moment, staying seated in your chair. Welcome thoughts of opposition, opposing. Welcome specifically the thought, they're against me, or it's against me. So allow the mind to show you an example of where that idea may be believed. They're against me. It's against me. Just take a moment to identify a situation. And as best you can, see if you can find a specific snapshot of that situation. Find a moment when that thought, that belief was alive. You can find yourself sitting or standing. What was happening? And only as best you can. Looks like you might be ready.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's check in. You want to share some about your situation?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think it's a reoccurring theme for me, that just reoccurred a couple of days ago, where I was on the phone talking um, with my daughter's dad, and uh, I I wanted a different outcome for something that involved her. Um, I was wanting to enroll her in summer school, and she was opposed to it. And when I was talking with him about it, um, he was taking her side on the situation. And I realized that for me, it felt reoccurring because often I feel like it's the two of them against me
Yeah.
when to for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you were texting with him? Is that
I was
right?
talking on the phone.
Talking on the phone.
Yeah, I had a break at work. So I was at work and I was talking on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's siding with her. Yeah.
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 Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. So they're against you.
They're against me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'll share mine too. And yeah, just the two of us. We'll see how it goes. I may chime in with some of my own inquiry, and I may just focus on facilitating you.
Yeah.
Yeah. The situation that came up for me is a few days ago, texting with a friend. Exposing something that was alive for me in the spirit of my intention was asking for support. I don't know. I don't know how clear I was about asking for support. I could go back and look. I don't know how explicit I was. And the response that I got was this friend's anger, wanting me to be in a different position and emotional experience than I was in. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it felt like they were against me. Yeah. on the phone. Mine was a text, but so many emotions happen with that little device.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Poor
Okay.
phones.
Yeah. 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 They receive a lot of
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. So let's begin with question number 1.
Mhm.
So they're against me. They're against you. Is it true?
No, it's not true.
And I find a yes.
Mm.
I'm going to be with that yes for a moment. Yeah, it feels like the proof is just a sensation in my body. So I'm welcoming that sensation. It's bringing up images of the past. So, can I absolutely know it's true that they're against me? No. All right, let's see what happens when we believe the thought. So,
Mhm.
how do you react? What happens when you believe they're against me?
Mm. Do you want me to go first?
Yeah.
When I believe that thought, the the first thing I get is an image that of a line being drawn and both of them on one side and me on the other. And what comes up for me is I have a sensation in my throat that starts to rise. Um, it feels the tears start to well. And I'm starting to get sad about the familiarity of the situation. And I'm remembering the not even remembering, but I'm having a thought that an accompanying thought that it's always them against me. And then the memories come in of previous times when I feel him taking her side on a situation and me always being on the other side. So yeah, an accompanying thought is it's always this way. And then the feeling is just a lot of sadness.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of sadness, a lot of frustration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I invite you to just be with that sadness. and the frustration and the sensations in the body. And as best you can, be with them without becoming them. It's always this way. And what begins to happen when you believe it's always this way? Not only are they against me, but it's always this way.
Mm. I feel a really hot anger and a rage, and I feel like I'm like small and trying to push up and out of a boxed in situation. I feel like I'm stuck somewhere really small and I have to push and punch my way out. Yeah,
At a
so it feels,
familiar sensation.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and tension in my neck. Ooh. Yeah, lots of tension in my upper, in my chest, and my shoulders, and my neck.
Yeah. Yeah. See if you can allow the familiarity of the sensation ripple back and point you to perhaps the first time or when this pattern began, when this rage, feeling small and needing to push out.
Hmm. I don't have any exact memories, but it does feel pretty ancient
Yeah.
childhood.
Yeah.
It feels like, mm, it feels uh, like not having a voice
Yeah.
or not, yeah, either not having a voice or permission to speak or yell out against what it feels like being ganged up on,
Yeah.
whether it, my siblings or by my parents.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's be with this little one who seems as though she has no voice, no permission when she's ganged up on. And again, as best you can, be with her without becoming her. Just listen. So what does she need permission for?
Like she needs permission just to be expressively angry.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's be with that little one and take a sidebar inquiry. And again, as best you can, be with her. Her perspective is so valid and valuable. So take that into account. And also, you find the answer that's true for you.
Mm-hmm.
So be with her without becoming her. So this little one needs permission to be expressively angry. Is that true?
And so I'm with her, and I'm not becoming her. Is it true that she needs permission to be expressively angry?
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, it feels pretty true.
Yeah. So be with that feeling. Welcome that feeling. And check that out as proof. That feeling, is it absolute proof? Can you absolutely know it's true that she needs permission to be expressively angry?
No, it's not true. Or
And then
no, I
just
can't.
let that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. And that's all that a no is for number two. It's like, it just means I don't know 100%. I don't know it for sure. Yeah. So just let that in. Let in that you don't know that for sure. That she needs permission. And was she ever, like even once, expressively angry without permission? Did it ever even once come out before someone said, Amanda, this is okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. So to me, that's like finding an example from reality. In reality, she can be expressively angry. You can be expressively angry without
Mhm.
anyone out there saying it's okay. If you look to reality, there's the anger. It just came out.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. It came out without permission.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how do you react when you believe she needs permission or I need permission?
Mm.
How do you react when you believe you need permission to be expressively angry?
Uh, I feel controlled and powerless.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a big feeling of powerlessness. Feelings of resentment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and this connects to what we were just talking about before we started the call. Like, as soon as you believe, I need this thing out there, but you have no control over whether it's coming, you've put the power out there. So just watch that happen. Like, watch, I need permission, and experience the powerlessness. That act creates this powerlessness when you put the need out there. Just allow a conscious connection between those two things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then what can happen when that's really seen is like the feeling of powerlessness can be experienced like a friend, right? Like, oh, there's that feeling of powerlessness. And instead of like fighting the powerlessness, it's like, oh, right, thanks for reminding me. This feeling of like, wow, or whatever, however it arises for you, powerlessness can be like, oh, right, I just did the thing. I just said that I need them to do the thing. I just did that.
Mm-hmm.
So just see if you're open to that. And we don't have to be open. Sometimes we're not ready for that feeling to be a friend. Sometimes we are. Feel that powerlessness and see if it's ready to be received as a friend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, it feels so familiar.
Yeah.
Even the suggestion that it could be a friend is it's inviting in a more of a curiosity about it instead of a resistance of it.
Yeah.
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 Mm.
Let's ride that curiosity, if you're ready, into question number 4. So, who would you be without the thought, I need permission to be expressively angry?
Yeah, it feels like a gigantic pause. Mm, as in, well, I'm seeing myself in two scenes. I'm seeing myself as a little child. And she just is what she is, but without the thought that she needs permission, then she chooses or doesn't choose, but she knows that she has the choice
To express the anger.
to express the anger.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then even in the situation where I was in just a couple of days ago, there's a pause there too. Like I feel the anger, and it's a choice whether I want to express it on the phone there, um,
Yeah.
to my daughter's dad or not.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it kind of makes me smile a little bit. I think it's like the with that the absence of the powerlessness, like I understand that there's still a consequence of being expressively angry, especially like during a phone conversation, and how helpful or not that would be at that moment.
Right.
But it kind of makes me laugh. Like,
Yeah.
like what would happen if I just decided to yell at this guy?
Yeah.
It might be funny up for me for a sec, but it really wouldn't be such a good idea.
Right. Totally.
Which, which feels good.
Yeah.
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 Well, and what it feels like to me is like the difference between living from a rule and living from wisdom. You know, like a rule is based in images of the past and images of the future and constriction. And living from wisdom allows our freedom. Like, I'm free to be freaking angry right now. And I see that that wouldn't be constructive to what I'm trying to do. So I'm not going to choose it. Right. But I'm free. I am free to be angry, which is a totally
Yeah.
different thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so nice to have that freedom.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And in reality, we always have had that freedom. We just turned the consequences into a rule. So we can just
Mm,
catch up with the freedom that's always there.
mm, mm.
No, so like that little one always had the freedom to express her anger. And it
Yeah.
may have been intelligent at the time to track the consequences.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. I definitely see how she internalized that into a rule.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So right now, are you interested in continuing this pattern of I need permission to be expressively angry?
I'm not interested in that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It feels more true to say that I have permission.
Mm,
I
yeah.
have permission. Yeah. It's like a self permission to
Yeah.
be expressed angry anytime, all day long if I choose.
Yeah.
Or- Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah. Catching up with reality, you're free.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah. So back to the original, they're against me on the phone. See if there's anything else you notice, how you react, what happens when you believe they're against me.
I'm noticing that, yeah, that I have created and solidified a dynamic where I choose to be more aware of this idea is that there is the both of them against me, and that I have like created and replayed for myself a picture of a two against one dynamic.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then look for that and then feel that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See if you can notice what you get from that or what you like about that.
Mm. I get to I get to feel some self-pity, and mm, I get to replay that feeling of being ganged up upon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what do you like about that?
Hmm. Really sure. I'm not sure. Yeah, I would say that it doesn't necessarily feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it does seem to help to solidify some of the other beliefs or thoughts that I have, that I'm a loner and that I'm misunderstood.
Yeah. Yeah. So it helps to prove those.
It helps, yeah. So it gives me proof on some other things. I don't know. I don't think it really feels good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and sometimes that's enough. Just that it's helping to prove and uphold some other beliefs. And also, it's just how identity works too, that um the sense of self, there's a way that the sense of self is drawn towards um concepts, so like, oh, well, I get to be a thing and I get to know what I am. I'm the one who's misunderstood, and I'm the one who's on the other side of the line, and outnumbered, and it's just familiar. That's what I am. That's what I get to be. That's the me that I know myself to be.
Yeah. Yeah. And in this dynamic with them, actually, there are some things that I do like, and I don't know if this is related or not, but it also does serve some other thoughts that I like to indulge in sometimes, is like being the one who knows better.
Yeah.
And that comes up a lot in
Yeah.
the dynamic of the three of us.
Yeah. So just be with that. Oh, I get to be the one who knows better.
Oh, yeah, I really like that one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I may be on the other side of the line. I may be ganged up on, but I'm on the right side of the line.
totally. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they're against me. They're against me. What are you afraid would happen if you didn't believe this anymore?
Hmm. I'm afraid that if I didn't believe it anymore, then their reasons for not wanting what I want might be legitimate. And if it's not for me to be taken personal, like if I'm not there to take it personally and they have legitimacy in what they want, which is different than what I want, then I would have to reevaluate if I'm the one that knows better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
Where
like afraid that they could be right.
I'm afraid that they could be right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or even that there's validity in what they say that that I'm unwilling to look at because I think that they just want to be against me, that they just want to argue with me.
Hmm. Yeah. Right. So
Mm-hmm.
if there's any validity to what they're saying, it kind of breaks down the idea that it's just because they want to oppose you.
Correct.
Yeah.
Like it's not personal and it's not even about me. They just might have an idea about what they want that's different.
Right. Yeah. No, it's about me. Yeah.
Yep. That's a pretty good one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Oh, I might have to like listen a bit of like, a little bit more deeply when they're talking instead of
Right.
just going to the, oh, they're opposing me.
Right. Oh, they might be 3D individuals. They might like have some substance to them. No.
Right.
Yeah, that's good.
Right. Their whole life isn't just revolving around wanting to argue with me and make
Yeah.
me this everything that they do by opposing me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't exist just to oppose me. Wow.
Right.
That's good. That's juicy.
It is.
So let's be without the thought just as best you can without going to the future. So not what are you afraid would happen, not what do you think would happen, but just right now,
Mhm.
as best you can, allow yourself to be without the thought, they're against me, and find out what is your presence like? What is it like to be you? Even if just for a moment, without the thought, they're against me.
Mm. Yeah. without the thought is an awareness of being in relationship without it. I feel being in relationship and feeling energy move between us as we relate without it feeling that opposition.
Yeah.
So like I just see us as these little beings that are just kind of pinging off of one another.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's not personal, it's just happening.
Yeah. It's the nature of relating.
Yeah.
Yeah. hmm Yeah. Yeah. I'm just aware that there's just relating that happens with my daughter and with her dad and with me, and it's not good or bad. It's just relating because we're all in relation based on
Yeah.
being in being a family together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah, it feels a lot less personal.
Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
Me, that comes back, or it brings me back to something I was seeing about the anger and the expressively angry piece. Like, I don't know if I've ever looked at the concept of expressively angry before. Um, and, so it was just like looking at expressively angry, kind of with a question mark. It was like, oh, so what's angry but not expressively angry? And for myself, I couldn't find that, like, because anger is an expression, right? Like, how do I know that I'm angry? There's energy moving, it's expressing. I may not make that obviously apparent to you, but like, it's expressing. Like, anger is expressing. So yeah, it just kind of takes me to that, like, um mm, you know she has an expression that's moving, and he has an expression that's moving, and I have an expression that's moving. Like, it just, and again, like, those expressions are friends that can point us back to what's the concept that precedes it, if we're open to it, because in any sort of emotional expression is pointing back to the condition of consciousness, like, it's conditioned consciousness that moves. Anyway, that's what it's opening up for me, is just like, the potential to be aware of, learning about the movements of consciousness.
Mm. Mhm.
And that's what I hear in your piece about, like, this is what happens in relationship is pinging. It moved over here, it moved over there, it's moving back over here, and we can become aware of it and curious about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Yeah. It's like that that wordless energy exchange that happens when we're in really.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And then the ones that don't feel so good, like the anger, are great because those are the ones that alert us to or stepped out of line with what feels true.
Right.
Yeah.
Such a good reminder.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can just be so simple. Like what hurts and what doesn't. Right. And that's me. That's me who does it every time. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Am I aligned with reality? Doesn't hurt. Am I not aligned with reality? That hurts. Got it. Yeah. It's amazing how simple it is and how many times we need to review that lesson.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Because oftentimes if I feel suddenly angry, I don't have the awareness in that moment to ask if I'm aligned with reality.
Right.
That's it's like something that I return to later in contemplation oftentimes. Usually in the moment it's just like, I want to express this.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And something that I got from the Secret of Light study. Well, actually, I don't remember if it was in the Secret of Light book. I think it was. Anyway, something from Walter Russell that's either in the Secret of Light book or Aaron just brought it up is one of the things that he says is there's two seemingly opposing desires of the creator. One is to materialize and take form, so to appear as angry, for instance, in some moment, like I get to be this thing, and also to be all of it, to be the oneness, which is not form. Because to be the oneness is not to have taken any particular shape. As soon as you take a shape, you're identified, you're part of the oneness. And so there's two, the creator has these two desires. And to me, that's a really helpful reminder that, like, anytime that I didn't remember in that moment that, whatever the lesson is, like, oh, I'm opposing reality. Well, there was something else that I was interested in right then. I was interested in expressing my anger. I was interested in being free to express my anger, which is great. I'm free to express my anger. I'm free to be that thing and appear as that thing. Yeah.
I love that. And it's not outside of God.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
It's just God in form.
Yeah. Appearing as angry. Yeah. Appearing tonight on the stage, ringed in lights, creator as anger. So, anything else you notice without the thought, they're against me?
Yeah. Without the thought, I see my daughter as separate from her dad. And so whereas when I think they're against me, it's like they're a team and I'm on the other side. But without the thought, I see two people and I see each of them with their individual desires. I see her advocating for what she wants and desires, and I see him advocating for her and her wants and desires.
Mm.
And so it's like without the there against me, it's kind of like the team that they are is like it dissolves, and I just see the two individuals that I'm in communication with.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, it feels like the ganging up upon part goes away again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's just take a moment to be with that experience. Like, witness them as their individual selves and see if you can hear them again. Hear them anew. What did you get?
What I got there was this really beautiful, and going back to just the previous sentence that we were saying, is I saw her as an expression of the creator. And so I saw her response to me that I formerly took as being against me, and I saw her as just advocating for herself in this really like gloriously beautiful way that she does.
Wow.
Just her, yeah, just her in her full expression.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And with all the the force and the power that she carries with her, which is beautiful and big. It's really big. Yeah. Yeah. And I saw him in his advocating for her and what she wants. Also as part of the creator, I saw him in this really beautiful, benevolent, fatherly way of just wanting to support her and her desires. And it's really like genuinely holding a lot of compassion for her. That I didn't want to see, because I sometimes resist wanting to see him in in his like really beautiful characteristics.
Yeah.
Like being really compassionate toward her. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. Mm. Yeah. That one, it's working. Right now. Yeah.
What I find can be helpful too, when I notice any resistance to something, I think we've probably done this before, that like, okay, I'm resisting seeing him as compassionate, or, you're not saying that you are, but you see how you have done that. It can be helpful for me to remind myself that I don't have to see him as compassionate, and allowing the space for that freedom can soften the resistance for me. That's like, if I think I have to see him as compassionate, there's a should there. It's moral. It's the good thing to do. I'm pressuring myself to see that. Then the fight comes out. I'm like, no, get off me. I don't want to, like, I hate seeing people as compassionate.
Right. Uh-huh.
And they're like, okay, you don't ever, ever, ever have to see him as compassionate. Okay, got it. I'm free to never see him as compassionate. Then suddenly I'm like, oh, I really want to. I love to see him as compassionate.
Totally.
Yeah.
Just beside me. Yeah.
The freedom is key. Yeah. And in a space of freedom, I find that's the space that supports us to return to our true nature. Like we get to do the thing we actually wanted to do rather than reacting in response. In the space of freedom, then I notice, oh, I love to see him as compassionate. And then I see, oh, that's who and what I am. I love to see compassion and experience this person in my life as so beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in that way, freedom supports our true nature.
Mm. Mm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Love that. I really love that as a reminder that when I first felt that, like, oh, seeing him in his compassionate nature, and the not wanting to, like, that resistance of the not wanting to is an indicator that I was withholding the freedom to choose right there for
Mm,
myself.
yeah.
Yeah. Like, just like a trusting and following where it is that I have the resistance.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is a really helpful concept to apply to facilitation, because like in facilitation, there have been, so many times over the years and still comes up for me sometimes, like I want someone to see something and I'm trying to like get them, like point them, look over there, look over there, look over there, and like, it doesn't work, you know? Or like, I don't know, sometimes maybe it works if they want to do it. And actually supporting their freedom, working with them, flowing with them is what supports like their genuine insights, which is such a powerful principle for me to keep practicing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Mm.
So let's turn it around.
Yeah.
They're against me.
And they're not against me.
Yeah. And just try that on and see if it fits.
Hmm. She's not against me. She's advocating for what she wants. And he's not against me. He's just advocating for her.
Hmm.
And then they they are not against me. They're not into the idea that I have
Right.
for her and what she should be doing this summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not at all about me. It's just about not being into the idea that I have.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're not against me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Um they're instead of they're against me, they're for me.
Hmm. Yeah.
They're for me or they're with me. Hmm. how might it be true that they're for me? Yeah, they're for working with me. They are both for working with me in ways that we both can support our daughter.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And they are both for me taking on a more active role in her life.
Mm. Wow.
Yeah. 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 There's been a lot of talk and just casual conversation about how how good things are and what a positive change it's been since I've been back in the picture, which feels so good.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So they're for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. They're for me being a back in the dynamic of relating and active participation
Yeah.
in her feels so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So they're for me. Um I'm against me. Well, in my mind, was is where the line was drawn, where they're on one side and I'm on the other.
Yeah.
So that the image of them on one side and me on the other side of the line is an image that was created in my mind.
Yeah.
So in that sense, I'm against me. I
Yeah.
put me on the side of the line.
Yeah.
Um,
Because the creator likes the story of being a loner and being misunderstood.
yeah, yeah. Those are ones that are still floating around sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're free. You're free to have those stories. Woohoo!
Yep. Yep. Totally. I'm against me. Yep. Hmm. How else might it be true that I'm against me?
See if you can land in that situation. And in the moment that you believe they're against me, is there any way that you see that you are against you?
Hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. In that situation where the emotions were rising and it led to the belief that I couldn't be expressively angry. Um, yeah, at that moment, I wasn't having any. I, I was thinking about the situation and not giving myself a moment to just compassionately sit with what was arising,
Yeah.
the emotions that were arising.
Yeah.
I was attempting at that moment to suppress them or bypass them so that I could push my agenda and or also find a solution that at that moment felt really immediate. Like I
Yeah.
needed that. And those felt more important than just sitting with compassion for all of the anger that was arising. Yeah. I wasn't with me. It must have been against me. Yeah.
Mm.
Mm, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm,
Yeah. What's here for me too is just like anytime that I anytime that I leave the present moment by chasing past or future, I'm opposing my nature, which is free. And that makes me against me. So that feels similar to what you said, but also maybe nuanced and different.
yeah. 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 It feels similar. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, because there isn't, I mean, anything bad about the anger that arose from that experience. It's like the anger was arising to show me something that I was thinking or believing,
Yeah.
but the not giving the well, not giving myself permission to feel the anger, to notice it, to hold it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it felt like I was in opposition to that what was happening at that moment. Yeah. Mm,
Mhm. Yeah. So let's look one more time at they're
yeah.
against me. Just see if there's any other turnarounds, any other insights that come.
Mm. I think what's really coming up, what feels really revelatory, is that even just 24 hours ago, it felt so personal.
Mhm. Yeah.
Just felt, yeah. And now it doesn't feel
Mm.
personal.
Yeah.
It feels real. Yeah. It feels like, whoa, what just happened?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Hmm.
And it seems like learning how not to be against them, like both how to be against them and how not to, it's like, oh, I can be against them if I equate myself with an idea. I'm going to, right? I'm going to take it personally when they oppose my idea. That will make me against them. So
Uh-huh.
how not to be against them too.
Yeah.
Mm.
I- Yeah. I love it.
Mm.
Mm, I love it. Yeah. Like it just feels all of a sudden like there's so many choices, the choice to draw the line in the sand.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Yeah. Choice to feel to to feel opposition.
Yep.
Yeah.
Totally. Which is, I feel like like the resolving of the paradox, of like creator wants to identify and also be all of it, be one. And like those two can come together, and remaining as the awareness, I can watch this one become angry without myself getting lost in it. Like, oh, look, there she is being angry. Oh, it's just so great to be angry. Oh, and look, here's the consequences of her expression of anger. Now they're angry back, and look, oh, now he's storming off, and oh, and watch it all unfold and love it, but without getting crunched and lost in the whew, in that painful in a painful way.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I brought a quote, a Katie quote to end with.
Yeah.
Ready to do that? Is there anything else you'd like to say before I read this?
I feel complete. Yeah, I feel good.
Thank you for your inquiry.
Thank you, BJ. Oh, that's so good.
Yeah. It's so good. So this is from A Mind at Home with Itself. Byron Katie says, when the mind begins inquiry as a practice, it learns, as a student of itself, that everything is for it. Everything adds to it, enlightens it, nourishes it, reveals it. Nothing is or ever was against it. This is a mind that has grown beyond opposites. It's no longer split. It keeps opening because it's living out of a fearless, undefended state. And it's eager for knowledge. It realizes that it's everything, so it learns to exclude nothing, to welcome it all. There's nothing gentler than open-mindedness. Because I don't oppose, it's not possible that someone will oppose me. People can't oppose anything but their own thinking. When there's no opposition, the chaotic mind hears itself. It notices that the only opposition is its own.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you too.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Okay. Enjoy your day.
You too.